The Chapel Bill era got started off on the not-so-right foot last night against TCU. Final score, 48-14. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily as bad as it looked last night in Chapel Hill, but I don't know if it's maybe all that a lot of folks hoped it would be going into that game. So what should we take away from last night's game looking forward? We'll break it down right now. Before we do that, though, make sure you're subscribed if you're a college football sicko or just fascinated by the fact that we got Bill Belichick now in our sport of college football. Make sure you're locked in. Make sure you are subscribed. We said it going into this game. We said it for weeks going into this game. We said, hey, listen, Bill Belichick will be working with a talent deficit coaching at North Carolina. Now, watching them play against TCU last night, I think TCU might just actually be pretty good. Like, we picked them before the year to play for the Big 12 championship. But I don't think it is ridiculous to make the argument that it is possible that Bill Belichick is working with the most severe talent deficit he's ever had as a head coach in football, period. Like last night, they got outrushed 258-50. Turned it over 3 times. Played 2 different quarterbacks. One of those quarterbacks, by the way, you went to the transfer portal in Gio Lopez and got, and I don't think you paid a free $99 price point. To me, the talent deficit in North Carolina was verified last night. And we'll see how they overcome that. But I think the frustrating part about this, if you're a North Carolina fan, is last night to me was the kind of start you just couldn't have. Like if North Carolina started hot, and they did start hot in this game, but I mean in the context of their season, started hot with a win, and then they roll into these next 2 games against Charlotte and Richmond, and then the game at UCF. Like there's a real world where North Carolina is sitting here at 4-0. Not the world we're living in, but that was a potential scenario based on the schedule they had in front of them if they were to get a win last night at home to start off the Bill Belichick era. So the tough part here is now with that kind of a loss, not just being hey, you lost by 3 points and, oh, well, TCU walked it off and it's a more experienced team. You're in a spot now with the talent deficit you have. Well, when you have less talent, what are the things that you do to win football games? I think there's 2 things that come to mind. One is scheme. I don't doubt that Bill Belichick can probably out-whiteboard any coach they're going to play. But the second thing that you have to do when you have less talent is have more buy-in, better culture, all the rah-rah things that, happens in college football that equate to wins, all the other stuff. That's what Bill Belichick now, in my opinion, has to manufacture and find a way to create. And knowing what we know about Bill Belichick, I have a hard time believing he's going to be that guy to turn on the extra stuff category for North Carolina and find a way to make that how they win football games. Because here's my tricky thing I'm trying to work through with North Carolina, the thing that kind of rubs me a little bit about them that's not getting me super excited for the future in Chapel Hill in the context of this season. Kind of feels like everyone involved at North Carolina right now is renting North Carolina. Right? Like Bill Belichick, it was well documented, the buyout stuff, dropping from $10 million to $1 million in like the month of June or whatever it was. Doesn't feel like he's super committed to North Carolina. 42 transfers. I mean, the whole roster is brand spanking new, including your quarterback and Gio Lopez last night. Now, I do think Max Johnson's probably your guy going forward. If that wasn't clear with how he came into the game and played, I don't know what else is. But when you're renting something, you're a little bit more casual with it. You're a little bit more likely to not care quite as much about it. Like, I don't feel there's a ton of ownership in Chapel Hill right now at a roster level or a head coach level. Like, would anybody be wildly shocked if after, the first head coaching job in the NFL came available, Bill Belichick was like, see y'all, I'm out, regardless if it was after the season or before the season even ended? I don't think that would shock me. Also, if you're trying to get 42 transfers to get dialed into playing North Carolina football, when they just got there 15 minutes ago and they're there with a coach who's got it well documented, he may or may not be there for a long time. Like, I worry about the care factor for North Carolina being at a high enough level to win these games that they quite frankly should win. Because as much as last night sucked, if you're a North Carolina fan or if you're rooting for Bill Belichick in college football, they're not cooked. They're not cooked. I just told you, at Charlotte, Richmond, at UCF, all before they play Clemson. They have a chance to get some mojo back, get in rhythm, feel good about themselves. But if they don't get that buy-in level correct, or they don't have everyone on the same page, and we have a lackadaisical mentality of sorts from guys that are there like, hey, I didn't really sign up to play here for this head coach for the next 2 years. Like, if there's just a rental attitude towards the next couple of games, North Carolina will lose games to where maybe they are belonging on the field from a talent level. Like maybe you do drop a game against UCF, which shouldn't happen in my estimation. But again, if you're not going to have the other stuff that you need to have to make up for a talent deficit, you lose football games. So the start worries me. The rental attitude worries me. They're not cooked. They should still be a bowl team. Should is a funny word in college football where the ball is shaped funny and you're dealing with 18 and 22-year-olds. But that was the kind of start that I think you just couldn't have if you're Bill Belichick trying to get North Carolina to a spot where you're competing for the ACC title. Because I want to make sure we say that too. North Carolina, I think hiring Bill Belichick, it wasn't the expectation of, okay, come here, let's make a bowl game. Like if you want to just make a bowl game, you would have kept Mac Brown around. You want to just make a bowl game, you would have hired some lesser coach for a lesser price point. Bill Belichick, I think, is there to actually help them get to a upper tier in the ACC. And based on what I saw last night, it's going to take some work, going to take some extra buy-in levels for them to get to where they want to go. But regardless, it's just game one. Not going to overreact, but a little bit nervous about how this thing looks right now in Chapel Hill. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comment section. A lot of football left to be played. We're in it now. Week 1 of the college football season in the rear view. Looking ahead to week 2. Make sure you are subscribed. Caden Smith, the ones and twos, myself, JD PicKell. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We'll keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.